The U.S. Virgin Islands, a piece of paradise characterized by beautiful beaches, blue waters, and tropical vibes. A popular stop for cruise ships and vacationers, it's sort of a play place, but for many, it's home, complete with its own culture and food. I, like most parrot heads, feel a connection to the tropics, the Caribbean in particular. The beaches at St. Thomas is a long way from Copenhagen, Denmark, where I'm from. But before it was sold to the United States in 1917, the Virgin Islands were in fact owned by Denmark and were known as the Danish West Indies. At first glance, St. Louis may seem as far away from the islands as Denmark. But when a hurricane passes through the Caribbean, you never know what might blow into town. As a chef, I need to stay curious in order to evolve. For me, that means looking beyond a great meal to learn more about who made it and what inspires them to cook. Every great city has great food. I'm going on a journey around the world right here in St. Louis to find good food and experience other cultures. I'm on a quest to find passionate chefs who cooks from the heart. Because food is love.
Delicious.
Food is love. Love your food. 2017 was a historic year for the Virgin Islands when they were slammed by not one but two hurricanes within a period of 2 weeks. It was a devastating 1-2 punch. Many people were displaced, homes destroyed, and the island were left with crippling damage to the infrastructure. It was at that very moment in time when Telly Wood and Sarah Spencer were prepping to open their first restaurant. In the wake of the storm, their location were destroyed. With no place to live and their prospect suddenly gone, they made a pinch decision to move to St. Louis to open up their Caribbean comfort food spot, Jerk Soul. Fast forward to today, the restaurant has become a favorite for jerk chicken and island dishes. I'm on my way to get a first-hand look how they're bringing those tastes to the Lou. Well, I'm here on Cherokee Street and we are gonna check out Jerk Soul's kitchen today and get a little secret recipes on their curry chicken and some other things they do in there.
Welcome!
Hi, how are you?
I'm well, how are you?
Well, thank you for having me.
Thank you for coming.
I brought you some peaches.
Okay.
Southern Illinois, where I reside, is famous for their peaches.
Okay.
They're really good, so you'll probably find some interesting things to use it for. Denmark was a part of the flags that,
Yes.
that are in the islands.
We still see some remnants of Denmark in our cobblestones,
Yeah.
architecture in our in St. Croix, in Christiansted and Frederiksted. We still see some remnants in the architecture from the Danish.
What a small world. I can't dance.
Yes, you can.
After a little fun, we get right into making saltfish.
So I'm going to prepare for you saltfish, which is a traditional dish in the Caribbean. Every island has their own twist to it, but mine is a combination of my father and my mother's inheritance. The Antiguans use a lot of fresh herbs and vegetables in their things, and then I'm going to incorporate a little bit of what I learned from, my mom and my godmother.
So the fish, so it was salted, so it was completely dry?
Yeah, it was completely dry, it was salted, so that's the way of preserving it. Soak it overnight, and in that water I'll put a little bit of sugar and fresh thyme, and I leave it there, and then I will throw that water off and then put more fresh water in there with some more sugar and boil that down until you get this product.
Can you buy that?
Yeah, you buy it at any type of butcher or fish shop. Just add this salted codfish. So I have me some melted butter, and this is the basis of your sauce for the saltfish. So I have some scallions here.
All right.
Some ginger, some roughly cut tomatoes, some onions, and some sweet peppers. I'm gonna add those to my sauce. Everything is better with butter.
I know. I mean, I'm classically trained, and butter and cream is in everything.
So you want this to just saute down just a little bit. So I have some onion powder here.
Okay.
Black pepper, some parsley. This is some ketchup and some fresh thyme. So I added my fresh thyme. I'm gonna add my black pepper. Like so.
That fresh thyme smells great.
Yeah.
That was the onion powder?
Yes, sir. And then my ketchup.
So you're literally doing this every day when you come in. This is your routine?
Yeah. This is one of our several classical dishes that we bring to St. Louis. I remember every Sunday morning we would have saltfish with some toast and some oatmeal, and that would be a staple. That's like a traditional Sunday morning breakfast, where you would have some banana fritters. Now I'm going to add my fish to the mixture. It takes some preparation because I always have to soak it the day before. The good part is you don't have to put it in the sauce. You can keep it in this state until you're ready to actually use it. Just cover it over with some salt. And I'm going to lightly flake it with my spoon.
Codfish is predominantly what you use?
They use linkfish or codfish. It won't be saltfish if it's not cod or linkfish.
Smells delicious.
It is delicious. We just let that simmer a little bit, and then there you go. We have our saltfish.
But that's this is not necessarily spicy, right? I mean,
No,
it's
but
not.
You can make it spicy.
Yeah, but for the palates over here, we have to tone it down a little bit.
I made it especially for you, so I'm going to add any spice.
Well, I can take the spice.
You can?
Yeah, I can.
Okay. In a traditional dish, you will chop up some Scotch bonnet without the seeds and just sprinkle it in. So do you want a sample?
Absolutely. Do I only get one shot at it? You know, double dipping is not good, but if it's really good, you have to double dip.
Not in here.
Not in here, okay.
This is great over, like I said, there's a thing in the Virgin Islands called Johnny cake, and that's broken down because it was originally journey cake, because the sailors or people who go out to see the fishermen will go on their long journey, and those are cakes that could be preserved or last a little time.
What do you serve here in the restaurant with this? Rice and
Yes.
peas?
Coconut rice and peas.
Okay.
We have 6 dishes that you can choose from. We have plantains, we have coconut rice and peas, mac and cheese, sweet potatoes, Caribbean corn or spicy cabbage. Sometimes I won't make something as spicy as it would traditionally be because not everyone likes spice.
It's delicious. You know, the acidity from the tomatoes.
So this is just will warm you up instantly in the morning.
So this is breakfast.
This is breakfast, lunch, dinner, whatever you want.
I love it.
You love it?
Yeah.
Good.
That's very good. Both Sarah and Tilly prepares dishes in the kitchen, which is a treat for me because there's no other place that I feel more at home. Without telling me all of their secrets, Tilly has agreed to show me how Caribbean chicken curry comes together.
We call our cuisine modern Caribbean comfort food. Today we have one of our most popular dishes on the classic side of our menu, which is curry chicken. But we're going to be doing a more Caribbean style type of curry chicken.
What makes it Caribbean?
It kind of depends on what powder that you're using and some other secret elements that you want to add into as well. I have some ginger, onion, Scotch bonnet peppers, curry leaves, some thyme, some scallion, coconut milk, that curry powder I was mentioning.
Yeah.
A little masala, salt, pepper, potatoes, tomatoes, and green peppers.
This, of course, this is the heat.
Very, very important.
Yeah.
Gives it an awesome flavor.
You can't eat one of those raw, can you?
I don't know. No, I'm not.
Okay.
First thing we're going to do is, I got a little bit of oil. I'm going to go in with some garlic, minced garlic first. I'm going to go in with my onion next. I want to kind of activate
The chili peppers?
Exactly. You want to activate all of the flavors. There is going to be enough heat in this one pepper to heat up the whole the whole dish.
So now you're not originally from any island, right? You're from Chicago?
I'm from Chicago.
What is the transition from Chicago to the Virgin Islands and then back here?
There's no shortage of jerk chicken places, Caribbean places. Of course, Chicago has all ethnic backgrounds in the city. So I've been eating Caribbean food virtually all my life. It's one of my favorite foods, so I needed to know how to cook it. After Zara and I met, we decided to open up the restaurant in the Virgin Islands. So I decided to pack up, leave the States, move down to the Virgin Islands. She actually had found a place before I moved down, after we were going through all of the steps that you have to go through to start a restaurant on that particular island. That's when Hurricane Irma came through and kind of tore it up.
Shattered that idea?
Yeah, it literally shattered the space. We went back over to the space and it was
Gone?
gone.
Well, that's a good indicator that you need to move on to the next place.
I ended up in St. Louis because after that first storm, a week later, another more historic storm was on its way to the islands, and so we decided that I would come back to the States, kind of regroup, come back, maybe help the island kind of rebuild and so forth. And so I actually got on a really, really small boat with about 30 other refugees, and we took this boat from St. Thomas over to Puerto Rico, right? And everybody knows what the storm did to Puerto Rico. I was there at that time, and I literally remember when the first drops started to rain down. Everybody's hunkering down in the hotel. And so I have a really good friend in St. Louis, and that day she was working very, very hard on the phone, trying to get me a ticket. I ended up getting a ticket on the last flight out of Puerto Rico, and that's how I got to St. Louis.
That is a story right there.
That opportunity was washed away, no pun intended. And so, but it was still on my mind, so I'm thinking, hey, I'm here, maybe the restaurant's here. And I found our first location the third day of me coming to St. Louis. Got a nice little gold color here. What you want to do is you want to add your curry powder to your oil. There's a really chalky taste in curry powder. So you want to use the oil to kind of cook down some of that chalky taste.
How long have you been in St. Louis now?
Almost 3 years.
Okay, so you're no longer a Cubs fan, now you're a St. Louis Cardinals fan, right? Now think about that before you answer that question.
Coconut milk is going to start to make the gravy.
That looks good. As soon as you added the coconut milk to the curry, I could hear Bob Marley in the background.
Modern Caribbean comfort food. So we're not the classic Caribbean place that you go to. But like I said, we definitely have those classics on the menu. Many of the ingredients that's used in the islands are grown there.
Yeah, smell that.
Yeah, you got us. Curry leaves.
Wow. That's new for me. I've never seen that before.
Yeah, I actually wasn't gonna. That was one of the secrets.
Okay, well, I'm sorry. We spilled the beans.
Spilled the beans.
Yeah.
So I got some scallion here. And last but not least, thyme.
Time, yeah.
Mix this up a little bit. And I'm just gonna add a little bit of salt and pepper.
And still that one Scotch bonnet is heating the whole thing up. That's amazing. Masala. That's interesting.
Yes, this is Trinidadian masala. Alright, so this is almost done.
You like to eat your own cooking, I can tell, huh?
I like it when a good plan comes together.
I can feel the love, the island love.
Yeah.
The heat is good. I mean, I get a little sweaty now, I can tell. It's gonna kick me, but I love it. I love it. It's not too much, it's not overpowering.
Did it need another Scotch bonnet?
No, it doesn't need anything. I'm Scandinavian, remember? I try. Just like the islands, the food here is full of color and flavor. It's no mystery why it's popular. Lunch rush is about to begin, so I'm making my exit before things get busy. Thank you very much for having us.
Thank you for coming.
Yeah, you know,
into our world.
Yeah, it was great. It was a Caribbean experience for sure.
Yes.
Yes.
And we're happy that we're able to bring it here to St. Louis.
Sarah and Telly has agreed to meet up with me later to hang out. I'm walking down Cherokee Street. If this isn't a sign, food is love in St. Louis. Besides jerk chicken, the Caribbean is known for rum production. John Dalton, a former cruise director and friend of mine, manages, among other things, a Caribbean-themed rum bar right here in St. Louis.
And then every once in a while I'll chef. Not that good, but National Geographic has some small boats, and when they're really desperate for like someone to cook on board, they'll just call and say, "What are you doing Saturday?" Guess I'm going on a ship. So I'll go down a ship, and all over the world I can go over and just, you walk on a little boat, and you're like, it's like old hat. It's fun.
You need to get me one of those gigs.
None of them are the small ones, especially aren't running, but when they are, I'll definitely get you a gig. It's fun. I'd go down to Costa Rica, and spend a month in Costa Rica being on a boat and working on a boat.
Well, I guess I can't go to Costa Rica for a month.
Why not?
How about Sunday, Monday, and Tuesday?
Go for a month. We'll put a paper cutout of you in the restaurant.
He spent a lot of time in the Caribbean and the restaurant industry, so he should have plenty to add to the conversation. Plus, there couldn't be a more fitting place to meet and compare notes.
So I spent a lot of time in Fredericia.
In Denmark?
Yeah,
Really?
a lot of time.
I'm from Copenhagen.
Okay.
I really want to go to the Virgin Islands just because, I have that Danish connection. And in 2017, I thought I told you, they had a buyback option, but obviously it wasn't even considered. But my mom sent me the Danish paper, and there was like a conversation about the Virgin Islands, how Danish architecture has impacted.
You see it all over, like little things you can see that are Danish.
Jerk
Yes.
as a noun, right?
Action word.
Yeah, I know. But the jerk really is a reference to a seasoning, right?
So jerk is a blend of seasonings that you put together and you marinate your meat in, but it's also the process. So it's a process of smoking with pimento wood and grilling. And it's the delicate dance between both, your seasoning and the way in which you process it, that makes it jerk.
How did you learn how to make jerk?
Well, I'm partly Jamaican.
I know. I don't know. I'm from Brooklyn. I don't know how to make it.
Something that you just grew up with, like it's the barbecue of the the barbecue of the Caribbean, like how you grow up with your special sauce. Your special way in which you do it, it's passed down from your grandmother, your grandfather to you. They teach you this is the way you do it, and you're not to tell anyone that that's the way it's done. It's the same way with our jerk. It's a special sauce. Everybody feel like their sauce is the best.
Sure.
Everybody have their special secret to make it uniquely theirs, and it's passed down from generation to
So the jerk
generation.
is both the spice and the sauce?
Spice, the sauce, and the process.
Yeah, that's the interesting one.
So you can have 3 different jerk, and they all be different because they have this little slightly different twist to it, but it's still jerk chicken. We still have to come visit you.
Absolutely. Hey, I would love to, come and work with you in the kitchen, and we'll do like what they did a couple hundred years ago, that we were working together on the islands, and now we're working together in St. Louis. Wouldn't that be cool?
That'd be cool.
Yeah.
Let's do it. Be a beautiful idea.
The herring didn't make it to the Virgin Islands. I know that for a fact, right?
Remember we said we'd have jerk herring?
Jerk, I don't know. Is that even possible? Maybe so,
yeah.
right?
It'd be very
Maybe
unique.
so.
Great conversation and good laughs. I can't think of a better way to end the day. As a chef, it's not just refreshing to talk to others who do the same thing. It's also eye-opening to find out that I share the same experiences in the kitchen, in the business of running a restaurant, with people from such different places. That never ceases to surprise me. But I shouldn't be surprised. In the kitchen, we all speak the same language. I've been invited back to Jerk Soul tomorrow evening for a Caribbean party with some of Sarah and Telly's close friends. All right, here's to Caribbean life in St. Louis.
Cheers.
Cheers.
Does it make me a jerk to check another man's chicken? I don't think so.
Early in the morning, we're sending out smoke signals to all of St. Louis. Come on by Cherokee Street.
Yeah. So, did you have a passion for cooking, or how did you get involved?
I've been a self-proclaimed chef ever since I was a teenager.
Okay.
And that's just really, it really just comes from, you know, grandma. This is the color that you really want on some jerk.
Okay.
That good, nice brown color. So they're definitely getting there. But what's gonna send them over the edge and really get that good, authentic taste that we need is the pimento wood. So I'm just gonna put a handful of wood on top of my coals.
Oh, wow. Like a specialty from Jamaica.
That's right. That's right. That's exactly correct.
Without giving away all of your secrets.
We want to be as authentic as possible, yet still kind of be a fusion restaurant at the same time.
Well, I mean, it's the atmosphere of the place too. You know, it all comes together with food.
Oh yeah, definitely.
Yeah.
You know, when you step inside a Jerk Soul, the first thing that's going to hit you is the smell. Smoke signals.
Music, food, then atmosphere. If I didn't know better, I would think I was in St. Croix right now. I would never expect to experience something like this in St. Louis. And the element that really brings the feeling together is, of course, the food.
And we have some coconut rice and peas. So it's actually red beans and rice, and it's boiled in coconut milk with some parsley and thyme and some salt, and it's really good.
So rice and peas is what you call it instead of rice and beans?
Yes, everything is rice and peas. And then we always have our fried plantains.
Okay. So these are the plantains, right?
Yes, sir. This is a green plantain.
And what's the difference between that and a banana?
It's in the same family, but this is denser.
Okay.
It has a consistency when it's green, like potato, and when it's ripe, like sweet potato.
Okay.
So it's sweet when it gets yellow.
Okay.
And that's what you have there. But this is the green version, and then you can fry this as well, and it becomes tostones.
Corn cooked in coconut milk and butter, sweet fried plantains, the smoky smell of jerk chicken. I may not be from the islands, but it's still comfort food to me. Why is it called the Virgin Islands? Do you know?
Because when Columbus came to the Virgin Islands, he saw that the beauty was so pristine, like a virgin.
Really?
And they got the name Virgin Islands.
See, I knew you could tell me all this stuff. Sarah and Telly were great hosts, and from the steady stream of customers, it's obvious that their love for what they're doing spills over into the pan. There's a lot of takeaways from the story of Jerk Soul, but wrapped inside of it all, one thing stands out the most to me: resilience in the face of disaster. When life throws a hurricane in your path and all your plans get washed away, it isn't always a sign that you need to throw in the towel. Most people in this situation would have abandoned any idea to open a restaurant. Instead, Telly and Sarah raised the stakes and with the roll of the dice, moved to a new city to make their plans work. Something that seemed negative actually became a positive. If they'd opened Jerk Soul in St. Thomas, there would have been just another place serving a menu that is common on the islands. But instead of giving up, they turned their concept into something that was missing here in St. Louis.
It's been a great experience. Rough, but great.
Well, I mean, you know, the fact that the two of you have gone through all that stuff in the islands.
We just keep trucking along. No matter what comes in front of us, we keep going.
They call their menu Caribbean comfort food, and I can't help seeing a beautiful irony in that name. They survived the storm, found shelter in St. Louis, and just a few years later are running a successful restaurant. They may be serving comfort food to their customers, but the food was actually comforting them. In the end, you can say it was the food that saved them. Food is love. Food is love. I feel it. Yes.
That is ringing through in the Caribbean.
And I really can't think of a better way to end the story than that.